Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to another video on beginning Unity 5. So we are back working on our game here. Last tutorial session we did the UI. We put those two boxes as well as the score bar. And the score bar basically tracks your motion away from the 0 point, which was like 95 or whatever. So that is what we did last time. And now I'm going to start the timer here for the video. Alright, so let's get started. So today we are going to do some particle effects. And doing these particle effects, we are going to use prefabs. So what prefabs are basically containers of stuff that we want to copy. So basically like you're working or whatever, you do at Excel. Let's say you do a flyer, right? So when you print a flyer, when you send your flyer that you want to put up on a wall or in your school or wherever, and you wrote that in Excel, Word or whatever, you're gonna take that and you're gonna copy it basically by printing it multiple times. So the thing that's similar within all those copies are what we call a prefab. So a prefab is basically something that we could instantiate, what's called instantiate, inside of our game here. So why are we going to do that? Because we don't necessarily need to do that, but we are going to do that because it's good practice for a prefab, and it's a good thing to have. So what we could do is we could just throw a particle effect like somewhere where you can't see it, and then just drag it there. But we want, because there's only going to be one time that you die, so only one particle effect that you ever need to have, and then you can just tell the particle effect to start. That's how I used to do it, but we're going to practice prefabs because it's very, very important to get this prefabs. So another thing is also these guys could be prefabs. Let me go ahead and, sorry about that, exit Steam. These here are prefab, so these would be prefabs, right? Something that has like this script that makes them move back and forth, so we could just make multiple copies. When we make a prefab of something, whatever we drag into, whatever we link to the prefab, it will have everything that was in here inside the prefab. So it makes a complete copy. The scripts are identical. The variables you put inside this, the link you to the scripts are identical. This rigid body here is identical. Everything would be identical. But we're going to, instead of using this guy, which we could do, we're going to use a particle emitter. So let's go ahead and start doing that. Also, another thing that we're going to do is we're going to add really quickly our ending box. So our box that basically means that we won the level. So another thing of something that we would make a prefab, we would probably make this. We'd probably make this a prefab, this prefab, this prefab. The platform here a prefab, where it's got a collider, rigid body, stuff like that. This here a prefab. The only thing we probably wouldn't make a prefab is our character, and also the canvas with the UI in it. I mean, the UI. Sorry. Yes, that's correct. Okay. So what we're gonna do? Right click on the hierarchy here, and we're going to create a particle system, and there you go. We have a little particle system, and you could do everything exactly the same as you do normally here. One thing that we're going to do is we're going to edit some of the things in the particle system, and this is very, very fun to mess around with and whatnot. So what we're going to do is, first things first, we're going to edit the particle system, and then we're going to drag it into the prefab. Make sure that you modify it first, find out settings that you want, then drag it into the prefab and get it to do what you want it to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a duration of 1 is about the right time, and we don't want it to loop. See how it's going continuously? We want it to just do its thing. And you see down here it's got the simulate, the pause, and the playback. So if I hit stop, it says the playback speed is 1, and the playback time is 0 because I hit stop. So here, if I simulate, it does that for a certain amount of time, and then it stops. And you see down here, it only goes for a second, and then it stops. So that's what we want, because we want it to just be like when we fall off the map, or when we hit the spike, it shoots up and then goes away before it deletes our character. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So let's do that right now. Okay, so first things first, we're going to change this to being like a red, like a blood color. Let's do it like that right there. So let me go ahead and log out of Skype there. Sorry about that, fellas. Okay. So now that we have that, you see it do little red effects. So that's the type of particles that we want. What we're going to do is we're going to have it do so start delay, start lifetime, start speed. What we're going to do is we're going to have it come out faster. So when it comes out faster, it's going to so it's going to come out faster. Watch, check it out. If I hit simulate, see, now you can see it come out faster. So we're going to go something like 15. That's fine right there. Maybe even a little faster, like 13, somewhere on there. Still not feeling it. There you go. Okay, so another thing that we're going to add is also that you could plug the particles into your physics engine and have it have like a gravity. So what we could do is we could tell it to simulate, and it's kind of got a gravity, and it'll fall. And you see, we also have another effect where we could have it hit, interact with, collide with stuff. And also here you can have the max particles, but that looks fine. That looks fine for me to have that many. So what we're going to do is we're going to do collisions. We're going to look here, and then we're going to say world. That's interesting. Let me see if it does it. No, so yeah, you have to do planes, and then you assign it the plane, which is our platform 1. So now when you hit simulate, it shoots up, comes down, and it bounces. And also you see that it has a lot of bounce, unrealistic to what we want to do. So you see here it's got a lot of bounce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the bounce. So it's kind of, you know, not even that. That's even too much bounce. It's going to be like almost nothing. Maybe a little bit more bounce. Just kind of cartoonish. Okay, that's probably still too much. So I'm going to say like 17. 17 sounds fine. Nice, good. And also, I don't really want it to roll. Just like that. Okay, so the dampen keeps it from rolling. It says send contact message. Don't want it to do that. Rotation by speed, rotation size over life, size over lifetime, color by speed, color over lifetime, force over lifetime, limit velocity over lifetime, velocity over lifetime, all different kinds of different stuff that you could change here. So this is basically what I'm going to do here. This looks good to me. So now I'm going to create a prefab. Let me go ahead and show you guys how I go about doing that. So first I go here to the bottom in the assets in the project menu, and I'm going to hit create, and then I'm going to look for prefab right here. Prefab. We're going to call this blood spatter. Hit enter. Now what you do is you go to your particle system, and you're going to drag this into here, and you'll see that it turns blue, meaning that it has something stored. And now in the blood spatter, we have every single piece identical to what it is here. So that's why I suggested that you that you edit it first and then just drag it in there. So another thing that we would do is, you know, you could turn this to like 0 or just have it not happen, and then you could easily edit in here, or just drag here, edit it, and then drag it back to change it. So what I'm going to do now that I have a copy inside the prefab, We no longer need this anymore. And what we're going to do is we are going to instantiate that whenever we have him hit the needle or fall off the map, any sort of thing like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit the scripts. So go into character. Okay, so open up mono develop, and then in character here we have fire, jump, hits the floor, hits a spike. So when we go to spike, when he dies, we wanted to set him as false, and then we're going to have him instantiate. So this is another situation in which we are going to use the scripting API, the documentation on Unity, right? So this is something that you know, I wanted to have to you know, show more often, just so you guys could you know, see all the different stuff. So what we're gonna do, you know, see that I use the documentation, and documentation is very, very important to understand. So a lot more of my videos are going to use documentation, because you being able to read the documentation is going to help you with stuff that I do not show you. So we are here on the documentation looking at instantiate. Now instantiate, we're going to use this version here, and also you see I'm in C#. Make sure, oh sorry, I'm using J# in this case. I've been using C# a lot recently, so I need to make sure that I flip over. Okay, so this is the one we're going to use, and you see I just copied it. We have the original object, so we're going to use game object, right? So here you see the prefab. So variable prefab is a type transform, and basically what we're going to do is we have a new. Actually, I'm just going to copy this here. I'm going to show you guys how to use this right now. So we go in here, and we're going to say instantiate prefab. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to put that right here. Oh shit. The reason being is that once we destroy the character, we cannot find where its transform is. So we're going to have it be where to go? Oh, here we are. So we're going to call it blood splatter. Blood spatter. And then we're going to go in here and we're going to copy this because this is what we want. We just want to call it blood spatter instead of prefab. Oops. So let's go up here to the top, and then public bar. Everything in J# is inherently public, so let me get rid of that. Blood spatter transform. So we have blood spatter here, and we're gonna have it a new vector 3. Vector 3 is basically location. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna have our character. Sorry about that. Dot loc. Okay, transform dot local position dot x. Y. Z. Okay, so this, we should not have an issue with this. So that's with spike. We're also going to do the same thing down here. Okay. So with that, we might have an issue. Okay. Alright, we are clean. Now let's give it a try. So what we need to do is we obviously need to go back and attach this guy to our main character, right? Blood spatter, right there. Blood spatter. Okay. So now what's going to happen is when we hit this, it should cause a... Oh, but I had a power up, so let me see here. There it is. And there is our death. So another thing that we could do is, you see that was a little short as far as, you know, being where the character was. But that's fine. It's a little high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract a little bit from the Y here and up here. I'm going to subtract 3. And subtract about 1. Minus 1. Minus 1. Oops. Oops. Okay. Okay, so another thing I was just thinking about doing is rotating it to where it's facing upwards, to where it's shooting up like a fountain. But this is also okay by itself, because another thing I was going to do is if it gets hit by this thing, it sprays backwards, and if it gets hit by this thing, it sprays upwards. But they're both identical tags, so it's not going to be able to tell the difference. So right now, this is okay with how we do it, and obviously, as you saw, we do not have it where you fall off the map, but let's just have it that way. So you fall off the map. One second. Sorry about that. I had to attend to something really quick. So you didn't see, probably because the fall death trigger is way down there. There, perfect. Okay, so we have that working correctly. So everything is good to go. Alright, so another thing that we're going to add is we're going to add a GUI that says, oh, you lost because you died, you fell to your death. Or says, like, you know, that you won, that you went to the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a GUI here, a simple text GUI that goes across here. So let's go here, canvas. Then we're going to bring it down, and I'm going to add a UI text. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it up here, cross like this. And I'm going to go to the rect tool. I'm going to go like this, and move it up, then go back to the rect tool, just down like that. And what I'm going to do is tell it the best fit. I'm going to tell it to center itself. And then here, I'm going to delete it to where it doesn't show anything. So now I'm going to call this win-loss. So what we're going to do is that when you win or you lose, it says you won or you lost after it deletes your character, right? Even though you won, you're technically going to get the end, and it's going to load up the next map, but it will have it, wait a second. So we're going to have this like that, okay, everything's good. So first thing is we're going to do it if you lose, so if you hit a spike or whatnot. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to say var win-loss of type text, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going to say win-loss.text equals you lose. Simple enough. Here, when you lose. Okay. Oh, of course, I forgot to drag the win-loss here. Win-loss. Got that. Lose. Another thing is I forgot to do the here. I forgot to redo these things here. So we want it to go. Oh. To always keep that size. So now it should appropriately do what we want it to do. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's best fit. Okay. Alright, so that is best fit. Alright, so that is it for that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the win square. So very similar to these types of left pi and then right pi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call this win collider. Or I'm just call it round collider. Or map. Let's call map. Yeah, win collider is fine. Okay, so we got that here, and I'm just going to move this over here, and I'm going to change this to I'm call this to win. I'm just going to call it win pi in this case. Win pylon. Win pylon. Okay, this is win pylon. So when we go here, and we go, this should be this trigger. So it's right here. What we're gonna do is I'm just gonna copy and paste this, because I want one of similar fashion, and it's just gonna say win. Since I want to save some typing, I want this because it's technically going to control. It's definitely technically going to destroy the character because he's done. Win pylon, and then it's already got this here, so I could just say you win, and then I'm done. Okay. It's a pretty decent size script, actually. Okay. So it says you lose, we know that already. And then maybe have a different oh god. Okay, let me try. Let me try to win this. Jesus, I need the shield. It's moving too fast. Die. Yeah. Boom, you win. Hit the end, you win. Of course, what I could do is I could put like a flag or something like that at the end. So I'll change that in the next video, but you get the idea. So all you would change is you change the sprite. You know, we'll get rid of the square. What is it anyways? This is empty. Oh, I just put none. Oh, I just put none and gave it a box glider. So yeah, you put like a flag there, you know, and then you win when you go through the flag. That's another thing that you could do. Alright, so that is basically what we have. We are getting very, very close to the end of setting up all our assets. Then all we would need to do is do some level creation and create all the levels. So a couple other things that we have to do is we have to add a title screen, a lost screen, or yeah, so basically a main menu. We need to have it to where when you beat this level, you load the next level. And we need to save some max scores, and also whether you beat a level or not, and maybe have unlockable levels or something like that. So after we do that, you guys could create your own levels and create your own game by using those templates that we create to go from one level to the second level. Alright, so that will be next tutorial. That will be what we have left, and any other stuff that I talk about from now till then. So this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. I'd like to thank you for watching my tutorial on beginning Unity 5. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. And I will catch you guys in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.